Hey everyone, it is the new and improved Andrew Wright from Drew Code Sports Talk. Yes, that's right. Got my hair a little shaved off here. But I'm really excited to do day 13, and we're going to continue in the American League West. We have already done talked about the Angels, and we already talked about the Mariners. And today we are going to be talking about the Texas Rangers. So let's get going. All right, everyone. Well, we're talking about the Rangers, and I wrote a couple of players down. I have Joey Gallo, the left fielder, the power-hitting left fielder for the Rangers, who, crushed the ball all year long last year. And then I got the newly acquired via trade from the Indians, Corey Kluber. Now, those two guys are really, I would say, still in the top 100 when it comes to players in Major League Baseball, players who, will get you good numbers, whether you do fantasy baseball or guys who are just going to do really well for your team. So I was kind of looking at both, but I'm going with Corey Kluber. Now, before I go into Corey Kluber, I did want to say Joey Gallo, he's a big power hitter. There's no question about his power. My question is that the guy does not hit for average. I mean, he hits in the low 200s, sometimes below 220, which is not very good at all. And they have to put him in different positions, whether it be first base, center field sometimes, which I don't think is his great position. Left field, I've seen him in right field before. So, Joey Gallo is a guy who is a good ball player, but to be honest, the only reason he has a job right now is because he can hit for power. And he's really going to have to lower his strikeout rate. So for the Rangers to be successful, he's going to have to hit a lot better, which I don't see him doing, to be frank. But I really like Corey Kluber. Now, Corey Kluber basically last season didn't have a season. I mean, he only pitched in 7 games. He was injured all of last year. I had him on my fantasy baseball team. I held on to him all year because I like Corey Kluber. I think this guy has the right stuff. Now, he is over 30 years old, and typically when guys are 30 years old and has not had a track record of being injured, and all of a sudden they get injured, it is a negative sign to me. But because of Corey Kluber's fastball, that was what he was known for. I think his fastball has dipped in velocity a little bit, so he's going to have to rely on his pitches. But what a lot of people don't factor in, when you think of Corey Kluber, you think of his fastball. But when I think of Corey Kluber, I think of his fastball, but also his curveball. His curveball is really distinct. Now, it's not going to be, the typical curveball where it drops, really far. It's not going to break, more than 6 inches, but it's got a wicked curve, and it's going like this. And that is a traditional curveball, back in the 80s, back in the 80s or 90s. And so Corey Kluber has got some real stuff. Now, I think he brings to the Rangers some good experience. And Mike Minor had a really good year last year, who is another pitcher for the Rangers. And Lance Lynn actually had a pretty decent year last year. So I think Corey Kluber is not only going to bring the experience to those guys, but I think he's also going to bring some consistency to that rotation that a lot of people are kind of mistreating. Now, if you look at from 2013 to 2014 to 2018, Corey Kluber was over 220 strikeouts every single year. So this guy has had some good stuff, and you don't just strike out over 220 guys just with a fastball. And the other thing that I was noticing is from 2014 to 2018, his ERA was either 3.49 or below, and typically he's hanging around the low 3s to the high 2s in ERA, which is phenomenal. So to say that this guy all of a sudden, because of his injuries, is going to completely blow up, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be another Matt Harvey type situation. I think Corey Kluber is a guy who's got stuff where he can stay in his low 3s in ERA. I mean, he has a career ERA of 3.16. So even with his 5.80 ERA that he had last year, he's still doing a phenomenal job of keeping that ERA down. I'm going with Corey Kluber, honestly, just because I'm trusting his stuff and I don't trust Joey Gallo So I'm going with Corey Kluber to watch for the Texas Rangers. All right, guys, thank you, and we will see you for Day 14 tomorrow.